as jostling for parliamentary slots takes center stage.
I don't believe that we are getting the best of representation from the incumbent MP, and there's a need to change that. But I bring on board some political and governance experience.
I have the confidence that having known the work that I've done and having seen the track record and the comparison that is going on now, I have the feeling that I'll be recalled.
Tonight, we have actors, seasoned politicians, retired police officer. They're all weighing themselves ahead of the August 24 primaries.
Because of the work I do as a police officer, I was really not interested. Even later on, when I was Common Hall president, thought that immediately after school I was going to be some youth organizer for a political party of a kind, but I turned it down.
Leja Kukukro, municipal assembly officials under pressure to fix deplorable link roads in the area, thought to be responsible for destroying vehicles and leaving residents with respiratory tract infections.
The road is so bad that you always will have to go to Abusuka and check on your shocks.
He campaigned about this road, but after elections, nothing has been done. We are pleading with government to come and do something about our bad roads.
We have the latest on this, as the municipal chief executive has been meeting authorities of the Roads and Highways Ministry in an attempt to bring closure to the matter and fix the road. Also later on here on NEWSNITE, chilling stories of how criminals are attacking and killing in Accra's twin communities, Mile 7 and Tantra Hill, dominate concerns as Joy News reporters tell stories from their communities.
And in business, Finance Minister Ken Ofri-Atta promises to deal with the country's tag at high risk of debt distress at the IMF.
Later in sports, Ghanaian boxing legend Azuma Nelson pays glowing tribute to former champion Penal Whitaker, who passed away after being knocked down by a car.
And later, we'll tell you about the self-acclaimed angel of God, Bishop Daniel Obinim, who has no time to wait on his master as he makes move to get judgment right here on earth. Wondering why? We have details. And remember that Headlines on NEWSNITE is brought to you by Eden Heights. Eden Heights, welcome home. Do join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp on 0244 340 437. That's on WhatsApp and Telegram.
And NEWSNITE is brought to you by Puma Card from Puma Energy, cash-free convenience. Let's start with the National Democratic Congress.
And Ghana's longest-serving Member of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbing, also Inusa Fuseni, Kofi Humado, Fifi Kwete and others will not answer the roll call in the next Parliament. But for new entrants like former Gender Minister Nana Oyelitha, Felix Ofusukwachi and actor John Dumelo, the journey to Ghana's legislature has just begun.
Well, they've been picking, new names have been picking forms, hundreds that pick nomination forms to contest the NDC's primaries before the close of the exercise last Friday. Now, the party has set August 24th for the primaries, but the committee set by the party at the regional level will first establish the suitability of the nominees for the job. Vetting will happen. We have the breakdown of for you shortly, but some of the aspirants have been speaking to Joy News from this is, I guess, one of the big ones that we've been talking about, from Ibra Sebu Kwaman Kese. Former Deputy Information Minister Felix Kwachifos has picked forms for that particular constituency.
Well, the Abra Sebu Kwaman Kese constituency is one that is endowed with enormous potential, but over the period, despite the best efforts of various MPs and other stakeholders in the constituency, it has not achieved the sort of potential that it has. I believe that the time has come for me to put myself at the service of the people of Abra Sebu Kwamankesi and work hand in hand with all stakeholders to ensure that first, it is projected in very positive light, that I bring my political and governance experience to bear to help attract the needed development and the needed representation for the people of that constituency.
So personally, what do you bring? What makes you different from MPs that they've had so far? And how ready are you to champion the change?
Well, to begin with, at the moment, I don't believe that we are getting the best of representation from the incumbent MP, and there's a need to change that. But I bring on board some political and governance experience, and I believe that I have what it takes to project that constituency and do what I can to ensure that the potential that exists there in various fields is tapped, and that the welfare of the people and their developmental needs are prioritized. So I bring a lot of innovation and dynamism to this particular job in the event that the people of the constituency give me the nod. But of course, I have to go through the party's primary process, and I'm quite hopeful that I will emerge successful. The role of resources, money, cannot be overemphasized in elections. But it takes more than money to emerge victorious in this. You first have to win the confidence and trust of the people that you seek to represent. You first have to show that you have the competence and vision and ability to deliver if they give you the nod. I believe that for me is far more important than any considerations that have to do with money. And I stand quite prepared to be able to do that.
Well, so you had there Phyllis Kwachiofo vying for the Asebu Ebua Kwamankese seat. Let's start. Well, Elton Brobe is on the political desk, and I'm in a hurry to get through the names. And he joins us in the studio with a list, those who have filed so far, or picked nomination forms so far. Elton, let's start from the Greater Accra region, obviously. How many have picked after close of nomination?
So, as at Friday, 5 p.m., 117 from all the constituencies in the Greater Accra region. That's the number we have as of now. So 117, and the this particular constituency, Botiano, Amam from, recorded the highest number of entries, nine, including the sitting member of parliament. So we are likely to see a very hot contest on the 24th of August.
Well, so among the familiar names, though, I know that Sam George is being contested also by the party chairman there. But among the familiar names is former MP David Tete Suming.
Right.
Why is he coming back?
You know, according to him, at the last parliamentary primaries, which he lost, the process was not done right. According to him, some foreign names were imported onto the voters' register. So that's how come he lost in that particular primaries. But he says that now the process has been refined. There's only NDC members on the voters register, so he's very much confident that he'll be re-elected to represent the constituency in the 2020 election. We can listen to him.
The incidents that occurred that led me out of parliament was not a planting. As you know, the opening of the register by the party to include all registered voters made certain names which were not members of the party to enter that register. And then I've always been saying that I was not voted out by the NDC members, but I was voted out by our opponents who got their name onto our register. So now that the register...
So the last, so if I understand you correctly, the last primaries which you lost was not fairly done.
No, that was not fairly done, but because we opened the register for all manner of persons to register, we were not meticulous about people who were registering, and so all sort of names entered, most of which were not committed members of our party. I mean, that was and it's an open truth, and so now that it has streamlined. And the power has been given to the executives who will form the electoral college. I have the confidence that, having known the work that I've done and having seen the track record and the comparison that is going on now, I have the feeling that I'll be recalled.
You're very much aware that politics at this stage is quite monetized. You're ready with the financial resources to see you through?
No, I mean, it's true. But my message to the delegates now is that we let us change the idea of the saying that we should fear delegates.
So David Tete Suming is going to be contesting for which
the Shire Osudoku constituency in the Greater Accra region.
That's a return. But
remember, he was Works and Housing Committee chair during the.
So he was in Parliament.
He was in Parliament.
Knocked out, is coming back
for 8 years, and now he's coming back.
Now there are other interesting names. We've done Felis Kwachifosu, David, but there are some very interesting names.
For example, if you go to the Iowa West Wagon constituency, actor John Dumelo has picked, and he's waiting to file his nomination and go through vetting. together with Susie Afua Dogbe. Now, Neil Antivandapoy, as usual, is going for Ododio constituency. Medina, we have Francis Xavier Sosu, Sidi Abubakar, Alhaji Faila, and Rukaya Abubakar. I spoke about Botiano, which has the number of entries. Shauzi Doku is the one we just spoke about. And Adentan, Mohammed, Adamu, Ramadan, Nana Oyelita, and Benjamin Agben. So these are the names that
Nana Oyelita is interesting for Adenta. So only 2 people from the NDC picked there in Adenta?
Three. Including Mohammed, Adamu, Ramadan.
Okay, so he was there. He contested last time and lost against the current MP.
Right.
And Nanoye is also joined that particular contest as well. That's going to be interesting.
So if you go to the voter region, at the time nominations came to a close, 74 people had picked. And interesting, we have names that will not be representing as far as the primaries is concerned. Fifi Kwete has stepped down. Former Youth and Sports Minister Kofi Humado. Richard Kwashiga is also not going. And then Dr. Benis Adiku Hello is also not going again.
Okay, let's stay in the voter region, because one other name that has picked up forms is a former national organizer of the NDC, Mr. Kofi Adams. Mr. Kofi Adams joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Adams, thank you for your time here on NEWSNITE.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening to you and your listeners.
You picked up forms in Boem, correct?
Yeah, but Boem is no longer in voter region. It's now in Oti region.
In Oti region. Thank you for the correction. Now, so tell me, from party organizer to an aspirant for parliament, why?
That's good, because that's where you start the training from, and you are better prepared for the job of an MP if you've come through the party. If you look at some of the best performers in parliament, they've either had party experience or have had some other form of experience before entering parliament. Mention Honorable Haruna Idrisu, who was a national youth organizer and therefore gained some experience before getting into parliament. Mention even on the other side, people like Dan Kwekubochwe, the Honorable Dan Kwekubochwe, who was a general secretary of his party before going into parliament. And so, in as someone who has gained experience from all angles, spokesperson to a former president, one of the longest serving former presidents, having served the party at various levels, branch level, constituency youth organizer, constituency secretary, regional youth organizer, deputy national youth organizer, deputy general secretary, national organizer, and of course campaign coordinator. I'm really more than prepared for the job of an MP. So all these processes are in preparation, getting to know who Kofi Adams is, and Kofi Adams getting to know the system. So it is not now that I will be introduced to any system beyond having a seat in parliament. I'm not going to be introduced to a lot of things that involves the work of an MP.
There are many who say if you're contesting in OT, the voter region, or in these general areas, all you need to win is a primary, and now once you win the primary, your path to parliament is as clear as daylight. You agree with that? All you need to do is to win the primary?
Sure. Political parties all over the world have strongholds that once you become the standard bearer of the party in a particular constituency, your chances of entering parliament is high. In Ghana here, both NPP and NDC can comfortably say that there are some seats that once you are a candidate of either NDC or MPP, you are more than 50% assured of entering parliament. And my constituency is one of such constituencies. We have never lost the constituency before. Even though our votes have been reducing over the years, we haven't lost that constituency. One of my mandates will be, when I become a candidate, is to bring back the constituency where it used to be, where we were winning with huge percentage.
Well, we wish you well, and I'm sure we are waiting to see if you actually get to file, the nomination papers now that you've picked them. That's Kofi Adams. I'm sure you'll be hearing more of him in the coming days with the campaign properly now about to begin. But let's move to let's stay in the voter region.
We'll go to the voter region
proper.
And one man who supported heavily presidential candidate Joshua Alabi, Richard Kwashiga, is also not going again.
He didn't
pick nomination forms. He joins us on the line, thankfully. He'll tell us why he didn't. Mr. Richard Kwashiga, thank you very much for your time here on NEWSNITE. Hello, Mr. Kwashiga.
Okay, we lost him on the telephone line. But Richard Kwashiga case is interesting. We'll hear why he's not going. But if you go to the northern region, there are some names missing in the list. I guess the headliner there is the current Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babin. We'll tell you why shortly, and others in the region who have also decided not to go again. But Mr. Kwashiga is back on the line.
Has joined us back on the line. We are grateful for your time here on Newsnight, Mr. Kwashiga. We're quite surprised to hear that you didn't pick forms, though. But who or what is pushing you out?
Why should it be a surprise to you? If you have been observant, you'd have realized that I had, since 2011, even before I became elected member of parliament, I had indicated that I was going to serve the people of Qatar for 2 terms. And so I'm just sticking by my principles and my commitment to the people.
And your commitment to the people was not enough for you to serve them more, even though you had stated that you only do it for 2 terms?
Is that it's not enough?
I'm asking if your commitment to them is not enough for you to stay on.
Oh, no. You know, when you talk, if you tell somebody that I'm going to do this, I'm going to give you this, you just have to abide by it. And my people are very much aware of this. And year in, year out, I kept reminding them that I'm doing 2 terms. Some of them also reminded me consistently that our MP said he was serving 2 terms. And if you recall, I don't know if you recall, I had said this in an interview with Richie Sky on City FM when I became the parliamentary candidate for the NDC representing Qatar in 2011. 2011, 2012. So this is not new, except you had only Jerusalem.
I certainly am not the stranger here, though. But are you by this quitting politics entirely and going back to the classroom, or will see you serve in other capacities?
Well, I'm not quitting politics at all. You remember I was the Greater Accra Regional Propaganda Secretary, became the National Propaganda Secretary, then moved on to become Member of Parliament. And there are so many roles to play within the political sphere of our country. And within the NDC, I remain a member of the NDC, and I'll continue to work for the NDC in whichever capacity that will be available. So I'm not quitting politics. I mean, politics is what I eat. It's part of me, And so it affords me the opportunity to serve people in diverse ways, and that's what I'll continue to do.
We are grateful for your time. We wish you all the best, though. That's Mr. Richard Kwashiga. He is the current MP for Keta. And we're talking about some interesting names that popped up in the northern region.
There have been names that we know but aren't contesting anymore. Alban Babin is one. Elting, who else?
Yes, Alban Babin is not going. Inus Hussein, at the time the thing came to an end, he did not pick. In his place, Murtala Mohammed has filed to contest the Tamale Central
Murtala Mohammed,
the former Deputy Minister for Trade. Yes, he lost.
He used to be. He used to be.
Yeah, he lost an Nanton constituency in the last election. Now he's contesting the Tamale Central.
That's interesting.
That is if he's able to go through vetting and go through the.
That's
primary.
Interesting.
That's the interesting thing. Next door neighbor is Tamale South. Now the minority leader Haruna Iduso is the member of parliament for this particular area. Now the time nomination came to a close, he was the only person that picked forms. So he's going unopposed.
Okay.
And we spoke to the constituency secretary who says that his good works is the one that is paying off.
Since 2004, 2008, 2012, he has always been unopposed, going unopposed. And in the constituency here, the people have absolute confidence in his leadership. They are confident that he will continue to give the constituency a strong voice in parliament and a fair representation. And also, when you are in the constituency, you see a lot of development activities going.
So that's Mohammed Suleimana, the Tamale South constituency secretary. Now we can also go to the Upper West region. Joseph Ilechwe, the current ranking member on the health committee.
He also used to be the former health minister.
Yeah, he's going to face a fierce contest for the Wild West constituency. Now we have a new entrant, and this is a former executive secretary to the IGP, Peter Tobu.
And that is an interesting one because just last 2-3 weeks, He's been in the news a lot. I mean, I've hosted him several times talking about security and police, etc. I didn't know that he was nursing, but he actually retired from the police service just a couple of months back, and possibly that probably might have been on his mind when he was retiring. You've been speaking to him,
yeah, and he tells us that his people are the ones pushing him to go, and that's the reason why he's answering the call.
The people of Wawes since 2010 have been impressing upon me to come home and contest. And because of the work I do as a police officer, I was really not interested. Even in Legon, when I was Common Hall president, I thought that immediately after school I was going to be some youth organizer for a political party of a kind, but I turned it down. But the pressure mounted and mounted until I think that the most beautiful thing to do is to respond to the call of the people who took care of you when you were growing up. So I decided that no, let me respond to this call and go back home and see if I can really also contribute to the human development and development of the district as a whole. So that is why I've decided to go there. At the point that I decided that I was going to respond to the call of the constituents, it is not possible to combine police and politics. I've always said that politicizing police is a very bad thing in a democracy. I don't blend politics with my professional policing.
Let's bring in Sami Jeffy, who is the communications officer of the National Democratic Congress. Jeffy, thank you for your time here on NEWSNITE. Everything set for vetting to begin?
Thank you very much, Evans. A very good morning to all your cherished listeners around the globe. We haven't got into the vetting stage of our electoral process yet. As you may be aware, we officially opened nominations on the 10th of July 2019 and allowed for all eligible party members who are desirous of contesting in our parliamentary primaries for this year to pick nomination forms. So we gave them between the period of 10th of July to the 12th of July. That process has ended. Various persons have picked nomination forms across the 197 constituencies where the process is currently ongoing, and will be filing their nominations between the period of 18th July 2019 and the 19th of July. So they take nomination forms. The next process in the parliamentary primaries calendar is a filing of nominations, which will take place on the 18th and 19th of July this month. Thereafter, we'll be vetting all these prospective contestants between the 24th and the 25th of July this year.
Okay, I guess that's a quick thing I want you to clarify for me. You mentioned constituencies less than 275. What happens to the rest?
The National Executive Committee of the party, through the General Secretary of the party, has communicated for the information of all members of the NDC and the general public that our parliamentary primaries have been put on hold in a total of 78 constituencies across the country.
And the reason is?
78 out of 275 constituencies. So
I was asking what the reason is for that.
Oh, it's just part of our political strategy towards winning parliamentary majority in the next general elections. We believe that these 78 constituencies are very critical. We would want to finish with the 197 constituencies so that we can zoom in on these 78 constituencies, get ample time, and give these constituencies the needed attention. So this decision has been taken by the party in line with our political strategy for winning majority in the next Parliament of Ghana. I'm
grateful that you joined us with that explanation. That's the communications officer of the National Democratic Congress there. So listen to NEWSNITE here on Joy 99.7 FM. When we return from the break, we'll be in Lejukukru and talking about the Lekma roads. We have an update for you tonight on the effort to fix it following the campaign that we started recently. Stay with us here on NEWSNITE.
It's time to experience something different, unexpected, and definitely beyond banking. It's a new era at GCB Bank, Ghana's most welcoming bank, where we offer you a world of financial security, flexibility, and convenience. We swiftly serve you with over 180 branches and 300 ATMs, and provide e-banking solutions that make it possible for you to bank anywhere, anytime. When you need a personal loan, sooner is better than later, so we give it to you in 24 hours to make sure the experience is always memorable. At GCB, your opportunities are limitless and we keep you smiling at all times. We're bigger and better, ready to take you beyond banking. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Protective of our guardian brand. 10 years of Texas, 10 years of loyalty. Your success, our passion. Oh yeah, your success, our passion.
Your success, our passion.
Get 100% bonus when you top up airtime with Vodafone Cash. Dial *110# to top up now. If you know, you know. The future is exciting. Ready?
Thank you, folks. On my A list today, show some love for contractor EB. So, contractor, what do you think about the country's changing skyline?
Oh, send them down across skyline. They change you, papa.
Wow. Contractor, don't you get worried when you hear of buildings collapsing?
I'm not for an one on Tassam. It is the likability of using low quality product.
Please explain why.
Yeah, cement is no quality on your gasem. Village of Fefio Yosiwe. It was built with gasem. Says the gasem is your construction. Osi ho pumping. She N1. Can you tell market? Kotokana Kumasi Airport. Cape Coast Stadium. Atwabu gas project in Gasebo. Messi what the quality. You know what is the quality?
Gasem, 3 cement grades, greater value. Gasem, the nation builder.
Thanks for staying with us here on NEWSNITE. You're welcome back. Now, tonight, the Lejokuku Krowo Municipal Assembly officials are under pressure to fix deplorable link roads in the area, thought to be responsible for destroying vehicles and leaving residents with respiratory infections. The residents are accusing the Akufo-Addo-led government of failing to honor a promise to them to fix the roads when voted into office. Not only vehicle owners are affected by the poor roads there, literally other businesses along the stretch are crippling.
We are pleading with government in the name of God to come and do something about our bad roads. It's even worse when it rains. No car plies this route. Even when it's time for children to even go to school, they're unable to do so because the roads are bad. Our MP came here during elections. He campaigned about this road, but after elections, nothing has been done.
Almost every day, even I have cold, as I speak to you. And every morning you have to wash your car. If you're not able to wash your car, you can't use it. And the road is so bad that you always will have to go to Abosukai, check on your shocks. And now, if you buy the home use shocks, they are not good. You have to buy a brand new shock. My house is just here. When you go to the whole place, almost everybody have to clean. And I'm an allergic to dust. And so it is worrying us. We've been making noise, talking, and nothing has been done about it. We voted for MPP because of this. We didn't want, because the NDC couldn't do anything about it. And it has been there for some time, and then we thought if the NPP comes to power, they'll do this thing for us.
The MP here knows the nature of the road. He's been using the road sometimes.
Today you'll be running on this road, tomorrow you are at a shop. It looks as if this place is not part of Ghana.
Well, you see, the biggest challenge for people there is about the health concerns. There is a big facility there. This is called the Lekma Hospital, right in the constituency, right along the stretch. And health care delivery is being affected because of the poor roads.
She can't all hear the and chebe no when he because mulupi ejame. So she's saying that she chooses to walk in spite of the dust because the pain that she experiences from the bumpy road is uncomfortable. So she would rather walk. Ewa ke eshebeni oba for who mi no ba fe. Genia says that she lives at the block factory, which is near the hospital. So when she's in labor, as soon as she starts to feel the pain, she will start walking, and then her things can be brought to her later because she would much rather walk than sit in a car and deal with the bumpy road.
I was here 6 o'clock to dress my wound, and I was on my 11. People were here 4 o'clock. Some of them, the reason is because of the road. If they don't come early, the bad nature of the road will delay them, and we've got to go back to work. Us, we are also going to demonstrate the way other people do.
9 months.
9 months, you're almost due.
Yes. I guess one of the drivers just fell into the hole on the road. I'm feeling pain of my abdomen. I can't feel. I'm not feeling free. So I'm going to see a doctor if the doctor will say anything to me. Because the road is not good. The road is not good. Please, if you can do something about the road for us.
Well, earlier today, a municipal chief executive of the area, Madam Ajele Chum Jamra, told Daniel Dadzi on the Super Morning Show that though a contract for the project has been awarded to another contractor, some work has begun, and she was also actually making attempts to reach the roads and transport minister as well, roads and highways minister on this matter. Listen to her.
That Teshi Link Road is beyond the assembly. So about 3 weeks ago, we were introduced to St. Anne's Development Limited. They are the new contractors to work on the road. So from urban roads, they reassign these people that they will do the road for us. I noticed that there were some gravels. They brought some gravels and they started doing the grading. So far, grading is what is going on at the moment. But the original contractors, I know it's the contractor is from Nigeria, and he's now mobilizing himself to come to the road in terms of funding to come and start doing the road. He also came to do some grading, and then that was all.
What's the scope of that contractor's work?
They were introduced to us from roads and highways that they are coming to work on the road.
Is it only the grading they are coming to do?
They have started doing that, but they are supposed to do asphalt on the road.
After the roads were graded, it's rained and then the road returned to the initial state, which is why I'm asking.
I'm arranging to go to see the minister on it with my roads engineer. But at the moment, we have been able to contract some of the road patching to Cross contractors. They've started working on some of the road. Even we have a very bad, we have a big pothole at the first junction. So today they are coming to do that one and some of the inner roads. They've started with the King Cotes Road to the Methodist Governor School Road at the moment.
I mean, if you have no idea what that road looks like, you want to check on myjoyonline.com because this is something that is there as well. We've been checking with her since this interview that you just had, and she says that she indeed met with the Roads and Highways Minister today, and soon there's going to be a solution to the issue of poor roads in the area, and expectedly, of course, something that will be following to get you the very latest on this very development. Let's speak to Member of Parliament for the area, Dr. Okoboy, joins us on the telephone line right now. Thank you, Mr. Okoboy, for your time here on NEWSNITE.
Yeah, my brother, thank you very much for having me.
What updates do you have for your people in the area on this road?
Well, what I can say is that, the road is a very, very important road. And as a member of parliament, first of all, the resources to construct that road is outside my strength. I mean, as in I can't use so I have to do a lot of advocacy. I have to follow up and all that. Immediately I came into office, I started working around this road. The contractor that was on the road before even this government came to power was One Marlin Investment Company Limited. I found out what was happening. I did some research and realized that there were some certificates that were outstanding to the tune of about 25 million Ghana cedis. So what I did was that I got all the certificates. I started going to the Ministry of Finance. I managed to get a meeting organized with the contractor. At least one certificate was paid, and then the contractor gave assurance that he would move to the road. I was following up and realized that he wasn't going on the road. So we had a meeting with the minister. This was over 1.5 years ago. And the gentleman said, okay, he was going to come on the road. He couldn't. That is when the minister decided that, look, if we look at this gentleman, the road might never be done. So a decision was taken to find another contractor. It was given to One Hajaik Company Limited, which is a Nigerian company. And apparently, the condition on which he was given the contract was that he had the funds to fully execute the project, and so that he will be paid by government based on agreed terms. So that's the impression the minister apparently gave that impression. So the contract was given to him. I was there when the contract was given to him at the ministry, November of 2018.
Okay.
The gentleman said, look, even before the end of the year, I'm going to start this road. He said maximum within 12 months, he will finish the 7.5 kilometer dual carriage completely. I was excited. So we started, but I did not go to sleep. I was monitoring him. I started calling his rep. When are you coming? He said, I'm bringing machines from Nigeria. 1 month passed, 2 months passed, 3 months passed. So I was back to the ministry. I was on the minister. I said, Mr. Minister, this gentleman, I'm not seeing him well. So it was just a few months ago that the ministry decided that, look, they wanted to now find someone else who had resources and all that. Apparently, there are technical terms. They wanted to do re-awarding and not termination because that will take time and all that. What I know is that the one they are looking at now, it's supposed to have gotten funding from some bank somewhere. I don't know all the details.
So the original contract, the contractor was supposed to pre-finance.
Yes.
Okay.
He was not giving. Yes, he was not giving. In fact, that was a condition. You know. So this after all these months of close to 7 months of not doing anything major. In fact, I even had to go around look for a site for him to do a work site. All this was done behind the Lekman Hospital, but I realized that nothing was happening. So after a lot of pressure, now I was told a re-awarding was going to be done. What I know is that this new gentleman who is supposed to be taking over the contract now told me that he has some financiers from outside, but it looks like they need to get some relevant documents from the Ministry of Roads as well as Ministry of Finance before the banks will release the funds to do the road. What got me excited was that it's the first time they are actually trying to work on the facility meant for the road. All this while, the reason why about 4 contractors have come and struggled is that they sort of want them to pre-finance and then later they'll pay. And the last time I looked at the figures, when I was dealing with Marlin, who was the one who was on the road before I came, the certificate I saw, this road was supposed to cost about 65 million Ghana cedis. He said he had done he has certificates to the tune of about 25 million. Now, here we are, because the road has retrogressed, has deteriorated. Now, the new figures that I'm seeing is over $20 million. You understand? So, it's the first time that apparently they are trying to work out a facility exclusively for the road. But the contractor makes me understand that there are some documents that must be gotten. It is these documents that I get the impression have not been completed. So that is what I can say. And every single day I call him, I go like, please, this is very important, what is happening. So, join us. The advocacy, we've been doing this for years. Myself, I work at the Lekma Hospital. I go there on Mondays. For the past 2 months, I've really not been there because people, the frustration is huge, and they create the impression that why are you here to consult when
the roads have been fixed? Confirm for me, because you are a medical officer as well. You used to work in Lekma. We've heard from pregnant women and people on the road who tell us that they've had instances where pregnant women have either have to miscarry, or sometimes even died, and as a result of they put it down to how bad the road is. Have you had incidents like that while you were there?
Yeah, let me say quickly that I think some have the impression that this road is about the electoral fortunes of Dr. Kubo. It's not really so. This road, like you are saying, will determine whether you survive or you lose your life if there is an emergency. I say it all the time. If you stay at Spintex, Bachona, Tema, Nungwa, Teshila, your best bet is the Lekma Hospital because it's a referral center. Now, I've had 2 experiences at Lekma. The first one is when a gynecologist was called from La to come and help us address a very complicated surgery. He came in the night, but when he got there, he told us straight away that he nearly lost his life because the road was very bad. So he told us, if you have an emergency, don't call me because I wouldn't come. So it means, apart from the struggles patients go through, even other physicians, when you call them for help, they deny, they are not willing to cooperate. Then the second one is that it is true. If you have pregnancy that is almost near term and you experience a bad road, you can get what we refer to as antenatal, APH. That's bleeding that happens before pregnancy, and that can threaten your pregnancy. These are things that I have captured on paper, I've documented, I've sent to the ministry and all that, trying to make them appreciate the urgency of the situation. And I did this over a year ago. And since 1 year after writing it putting on paper, I've followed it every day. Sometimes I spend an average of 3 days out of the 5 working days at the ministry. I know media men are on the neck of MPs. Why are you guys not in parliament sometimes? The chamber is empty. I spend more days at the Ministry of Roads and Highways than in parliament. All I can do is do advocacy. And let me do this admission. I have talked to Chief of Staff. He tells me, Doc, we know this your road is important. We are doing everything to get it done. I've talked to the minister. He tells me, Doc, your road is so important. I've talked to, I don't want to mention names, but these people tell me, we know your road is important. We are going to work on it. And I tell them my people are on my neck. They've given me the assurance. They've let me know that they have a lot of interest. What I don't know are the very serious challenges that has sort of made work not start. And all of us as citizens, it is not only my matter, it's a matter of everybody. And if you are asking why we still have such a situation, you see, because Lekma Road is a dual carriage, it's a highway, even when you grade it and it's nice, it causes another problem, which is the dust.
Yeah.
And when you have people living by dust for so many years, you have a lot of chronic conditions, you have respiratory conditions, there are a lot of things that people go through.
Yeah, from all that you've described, it begs the question, and because you are a member of parliament and your party is in power, I need to ask you this, based on all the things you're trying to get. Is it the case of we just having the government simply hasn't prioritized this road, or the money isn't there, or simply there isn't a political will to fix the road? What is it?
Yeah, my brother, I don't have all the answers. As the representative for the people of Lejekuku, I have to take the pains to make sure that I make the case for the construction of the road. I know every government has limited funds, but I also know that I still have to make a case for the road. And like I said, I've made the case at every place you can suggest that I should go. Every office in this country I have been to, with both verbal communication, with documentary and all that. I also have gotten signals from all those that matter that we know of your road, we know it must be done.
Yeah, but yet they don't do it, and that's the question. Is it that they simply don't see your point, or they don't have the money, or there's no will, or there's no priority?
All I can say is that as for the challenges, I think the best place we have to place it is the ministry. The question you're asking me, I ask the ministry every single day. There are occasions I spend not even at the ministry, at the private homes of those who work at the ministry, trying to make them appreciate the fact that you have a community of close to 500,000 people asking one gentleman what is happening. And my job is to make a strong case. if you say that the Lekma Road must be fixed, you are only saying what I've been saying for all these years. And we just must get we must be told the challenges.
Yeah.
I keep on asking. I don't know all the challenges. So if you ask, I think you are not, I can't fault you for asking, because I'm asking myself.
Okay, I'm grateful that you joined us. That to say, the Member of Parliament for Lejokuku, who sounds very helpless, I must say, in the matter, because all that he's done, rating as you've used that road before, George Yaffe. You used that road before?
No, not really.
You haven't? Oh, goodness. You should try it. There's this very famous community there called Agbliza.
I've heard about it before.
Yeah. You just drive on it, and then you see what we are talking about. What do you have in business?
Well, Evans, coming up in business, IMF highlights revenue mobilization challenges and rising energy sector debts as fresh threats to the economy. And Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta promises to deal with the country's tag as high risk of debt distress. The business news on NEWSNITE is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank. How can we help you?
Promo way there, I had there. Sabi gusu yusu mi mumu no. If you say MTN Echima Chedia no, Edia 2 turbo. Brand new Samsung 65-inch UHD Smart TV. Na brand new 2019 Hyundai. And I feel 3,000 Ghana there. You should say mono. MTN Momo. Still Misaka. The journey of 1,000 smiles. Yashasya 10 years ago. And to celebrate this milestone, MTN give you away exciting prizes in the MTN Momo at 10 promo. Yeah, you use Momo no. You could win one of the 2019 Hyundai i10 cars. Yes, some Samsung Smart TVs for baby. And they up to 3,000 CDs e-cash every month. And a grand prize, 2019 Hyundai Santa Fe in the MTN Momo at 10 promo. Into signing on and they keep using your MTN Momo. Now when you big, if it's Abri, I could see August only on Ghana's best network. Dial *120#. Now check your points. Terms and conditions apply. Just Momo it. We're there for you everywhere you go.
We give you nothing but the best. We stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Honey, I need to get some.
But I don't have cash on me. Let me get some fuel quickly and let's go.
And how are you going to get the fuel? I thought you said you didn't have cash on you. What is this one?
My Puma card.
All it takes is a card. The Puma card allows you to buy fuel cash-free from all Puma energy filling stations. You can use your Puma card with any Visa points of sale and ATM across the country. The Puma card also works on mobile money. You get amazing discounts when you fill up with your Puma card. So register for free and get your Puma card instantly at any Puma filling station.
And you only got one for yourself, eh?
Yeah, would I have had my piece of mind?
Oh, thank you, honey.
And where are you going?
I'm getting something from the shop real quick. I need to test the card.
Puma card. Cash-free convenience.
Imagine living in a world of comfort and luxury. In a well-planned and gated community with access to an ultra-modern sports complex which has Olympic-sized swimming pools, football, basketball, athletics, and gym facilities. I'm talking about Eden Heights, the new destination for luxury in Ghana. Eden Heights is developed with the highest grade of finishing in our penthouses and our 1 to 4 bedroom apartments, and is located close to the beach resorts along the Atlantic Ocean, about 30 minutes drive from the airport and 5 minutes walk from the West Hills Mall. Eden Heights is the ideal location for luxury. Visit us at edenheights.com.gh or email to sales@edenheights.com.gh or call us on 050-153-1444 or 050-153-1445 for more information. Eden Heights, welcome home.
Joy 99.7 FM.
You're welcome back to Business on NEWSNITE. Now, the IMF is highlighting revenue mobilization challenges and rising energy sector debts as fresh threats to the economy after completing the fund program. The fund argues that if this is not handled well, it could erode gains made so far in stabilizing the economy. Dr. Tunamama is the IMF country representative to Ghana.
An indication that there is also urgency, as we've been repeating for years, that to increase domestic revenue mobilization, right? Because that's the way not only to find the necessary resources to cover, all these legitimate programs and spending, but also the way to reduce the debt stock. So this is where, some of the efforts that I'm talking about should be coming from. Work has been done on this tax exemption bill. It is our wish that passed at some point, because these are potentially low-hanging fruits that should bring much-needed revenue to the public purse.
In a related development, the IMF country board has indicated that the government still reserves the right on how it wants to pay the a little over $1 billion debt it owes the fund. This was after it put it on the post-program monitoring by the fund in June this year.
I mean, we need to manage that.
Now, Finance Minister Kenneth Ofori-Atta says measures are being implemented to deal with the tag of a high risk of debt distressed country. The IMF put Ghana on this classification following issues with rising debts and revenue mobilization. But Finance Minister Kenneth Ofori-Atta maintains that some of its debt management strategies would help bring the situation under control.
I mean, we need to manage that. We need to manage, the loans that we are getting. We need to be able to be looking to do some liability management so that we reduce the impact of it and elongate it. But I think it's a conundrum that countries in our situation have. How do you finance your infrastructure needs to open up the economy for it to be more productive and efficient, and at the same time manage this debt? And so what type of debt is then required for you to do that and ensure that how you invest that money is productive so you can pay back?
The high risk of debt distress warning is said to have influenced the cost of the country's borrowing, but some investors are also worried that government might have not been able to pay its debts on time, and that is why they are worried about these classifications. Now, President of the Association of Bank Al-Hassan and Dani has indicated that government has made some significant payment of the energy sector debts owed the commercial banks. Government last year, that is in 2017, started issuing bonds to raise about 10 billion, that is Ghana cedis, to clear these debts that are owed the energy sector. However, recent concerns from these independent power producers about their debts not being paid have raised questions about the status of these debt payment. But Mr. Ndani tells Joy Business as far as he's concerned, the commercial banks have received some substantial payments.
ESLA is going well. The government raised bonds on the back of ESLA and it's flowing through very well. Yeah.
What about the contractor? Because there have been complaints that these service providers